Greetings dear friends, Dragon here once again. If it's your first time stumbling onto my tiny little corner of the YouTubes, then do please consider clicking that red button and subscribing. We are continuing today with our look at Shawscope Vol2. I'm still working my way through the review discs. More and more people I am seeing getting their hands on the actual final finished official box set. For us in the UK, the official release is still the end of November, beginning of December for the US. This time round we're looking at Disc 5, which contains 1979's The Magnificent Ruffians, aka The Destroyers, and shot in 1979 but released in 1980, The 10 Tigers of Kwantung, both directed by Chang Cheh, both written by Kwantung, and in The Magnificent Ruffians case, starring almost all the Venom mob, though no way pie in The Magnificent Ruffians, and 10 Tigers of Kwantung stars all of the Venom mob as well as a whole bunch of others, particularly the kind of old guard of Chang Cheh actors. So we see Lung and we see Fu Sheng joining a pretty huge ensemble cast. But first up we will look at The Magnificent Ruffians, like I say from 1979, released in the US as The Destroyers. We'll keep this fairly brief because I think it's a good film to go into not knowing a huge amount about the storyline because it's quite twisty. But essentially we have Lu Feng playing a much more prominent role than he normally played in a lot of these movies. He really is largely leading the cast in this film. He's playing the villain, which is not new. He usually did play a villainous part, but a particularly kind of prominent villain in this case. He's a very wealthy landowner, stroke martial artist, pretty much has control of most of this small town. But there is another landowner played by Lo Mang, who he's looking to kind of try and supplement buy his land from. Lo Mang doesn't want to sell his land, so Lu Feng recruits a few other wandering martial artists, pretty scrappy, the ruffians of the title, to essentially kind of try and intervene. So he tricks them into going up against Lo Mang and to really try and bully and harass him into selling his land. This backfires because they end up basically admiring each other's skills, becoming pretty good friends. So Lo Feng has to kind of try and work out a different sneaky trick to try and kind of get the best of Lo Mang, which he does. I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what he does, but the action's really, really on point. There's some great weapons work, some incredible acrobatics work, particularly from Cheng Cheng, which is no surprise. He's a wonderful, wonderful acrobat. Some great pole work from Ko Choi. And just all round a really entertaining, really great movie. Another fan favourite, so a lot of people have a lot of love for Magnificent Ruffians. Was quite a tricky one to get. I have the old IVL DVD and it was available as a German Blu-ray, which did not have the English dub on. The transfer that's on the Arrow box set has Mandarin and English dubs on here. Looks absolutely spectacular. Really, really kind of glorious. Another one of these wonderful Arrow restorations of these films, looking better than they ever have done before. Runs for about 98 minutes and all around just a really kind of good swan song for Chang Cheh and the Venom mob on the set, because this, along with the 10 Tigers, are the last two Chang Cheh movies on Volume 2, and from the speculation that we've heard about Volume 3 and Volume 4, they're moving away from Kung Fu movies into other areas of the Shaw's back catalogue, so this is probably the last Chang Cheh movies that we'll see coming from Arrow for a little while. Between Volume 1 and Volume 2, they've really pulled together a huge amount of Chang Cheh's absolute highlights. They've done a very good job of creating the most essential Chang Cheh movies, really, so you now have them in two very handy box sets. Extras-wise, on Magnificent Ruffians, we get a wonderful visual essay by Jonathan Clements. Jonathan Clements I'm a huge fan of. He did the incredible commentary on Heroes of the East on Volume 1, and has been around for quite a while for any manga fans. He did the old commentaries for the old Kolgo 13 and the old Vampire Hunter D DVDs here in the UK. Also wrote A Brief History of China. Always does a really wonderful job of putting together his extras. He's really entertaining to listen to. So his extra runs for about 22.5 minutes. Looks at history versus myths in the martial arts film. Largely centered around the Shaolin Temple, and he kind of speaks about the movie reality versus actual reality and kind of where those two don't always line up. Really, really well put together, along with some great clips from a variety of different movies. We also get two trailers. We get the Hong Kong theatrical trailer and the German theatrical trailer, a 45 image gallery, and that is pretty much it for Magnificent Ruffians. Moving over to the 10 Tigers of Kwantung, which is largely an Expendables-like ensemble cast movie, including all the Venom mob as well as the old guard of Chang Cheh actors. So we can see Lung and we see Fu Sheng in there, along with a bunch of other actors. Some of the new baby Venoms make an appearance, most notably Chin Su Ho, and tells the story really of how the 10 Tigers of Kwantung, the 10 very famous martial artists from that region of southern China, all kind of came together. So it's kind of their origin story. It is quite a convoluted plot, and the production did have quite a lot of problems, which I'm not going to go too much into detail here. Brandon Bentley's commentary on this does an incredible job of explaining that, so I shall leave you to dive into that for yourselves. Action very much on point. Again, as we saw in Magnificent Ruffians, there is a case of our heroes being misled and kind of sent out to dispatch other heroes, but ultimately kind of realizing they're both fighting on the same side. Wonderful villain performances here from Wang Lung Wei and from Wong Li, but largely really it's Lung and Fu Sheng and then Philip Kwok Lo Meng, Chang Cheh and Sun Chen that are kind of driving the bulk of the action. Part of the film is set in the future, where we see Chin Su-ho relating the original story of the 10 Tigers and then kind of going out to kind of try and seek revenge. It's about as much as I'll say for the main story. But extras-wise for this, we also get the Rivers and Lakes visual essay that was on Magnificent Ruffians is shared on this title. And along with, as mentioned, incredible commentary track by Brendan Bentley, one of the best commentary tracks I've heard them produce for the set so far. Brendan does a really, really good job on his commentaries all round. Really love the commentary tracks he did for Criterion, or for The Big Boss, and for 88 Films for The Young Master, and the commentary he does here. I think his first Shaw Brothers commentary, he really dives deep, so I think you can tell that he's taken pages and pages of notes. Does a really good job of explaining the production, all the key players involved, and yeah, just a joy, absolute joy to listen to. 2 thumbs way up for his commentary. We also get a pretty great interview from the Frederick Ambrosine archives with Chin Su-ho, which runs for about 21 minutes long. Always really good to hear Chin Su-ho talk. And quite an exceptional artist, quite an exceptional martial artist and a wonderful actor. We also get a textless title sequence, a trailer gallery including the Hong Kong theatrical trailer in Cantonese and Mandarin, the US TV spot, digital reissue trailer, and a 30-strong image gallery. And this time we also get a Cantonese dub here, so we get Cantonese, Mandarin and English dub on 10 Tigers. But 2 just wonderful, really great kind of tail end of Chang Cheh's career at Shaw Brothers Movies. Both really, really strong. I maybe slightly prefer Invincible Shaolin and Kid with the Golden Arm. I think they're the 2 movies that I've seen more. So I'm looking forward to diving into these with much better quality than I previously had access to, because they do look incredibly good in the new restorations. But that rounds out Disc 5 for the most part. I don't think there's too much else to say. I think if you don't know the films, you're going to really enjoy going through them. It'll be interesting to kind of know what everybody's individual favourites are, because I think some people will be more drawn to these 2 than they are to Invincible Shaolin and to Kid with the Golden Arm. Patreon is still going strong, and quite a few of you have already signed up, so my eternal gratitude goes out once again to Kevin Smith, to Johnny Wheats, to Dustin Lewis, to Owen Jones, to Carlos, to the Asian Cinema Guy, to Matthew Miskick, to Big Movie Freak, to Andy T, to Andy Dolloway, to Alistair Dyson, and to Bing Bong Or. Thank you so much to those guys for all signing up already. If you would like to sign up too, then please take a look at the link below, and it'll let you see the various different tiers, what's on offer at each tier, getting ever closer to my goal. Once we reach the goal, I'm going to start doing monthly giveaways, and as there's not a huge amount of people signed up so far, your chances of winning are pretty damn strong, particularly if we're going to do one giveaway every month, which is the plan. Thank you very, very much for watching this. I'll be back again very soon with disc number 6, which will be My Young Auntie, a personal favourite of mine, directed by Lau Kar-leung. I've been the Fanatical Dragon. Thank you to all of you for watching this. I will see you on the next one. Take care.